because I always thought it looks like an old pattern. And I've seen them in here, but I've never seen them anywhere else. And if you want to buy, there's some other ones.
Okay, they're little trapezoids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're like a one patch, you know, where you just have the one, and I don't know, it looks kind of old and kind of simple. So you can order templates online, but I've never seen a template anywhere. So I found a thing online that kind of shows you how to make your own. It's really easy. You can make different sizes. So you take a piece of paper, and I didn't take a plain piece of paper, but let's say you want it, like I had 3.5 inches because you want it 3 inches tall. You can cut a strip that's 3 inches, and you fold it in half or a square. I can't. I'm not a very good teacher on here because I didn't really measure. I just kind of cut, and I think with something like this you can do that.
Yeah.
And so you have a piece of paper. You fold it in half, and then you just cut wherever you want. And what I started out with was making the bottom twice as long as the top. And I cut it with a paper cutter, but you can cut it with a rotary, cutter like that on paper, whatever. And then you open it up, and then you decide if that's what you want. If you don't like the shape, then you can trim it. But if you do, make sure you fold it in half so that the sides are even. So then you can do, whatever size you want. Here's small ones. Here's
that's
tall and
fun.
skinny. Here's big, short and squatty.
Cool.
You just have to
Depending on what your shape is.
Right, whatever
what your
you
own shape is.
Yeah. whatever you want. And then I'm not a very good rotary cutter because the demos, the instructions that I found were then you take and use cardstock. Don't use regular paper. Use cardstock.
So it's heavier, yeah.
So it's heavier. So the recommendation I found was you cut your strips of fabric, and then you put this down over your fabric, and then you can just cut like this, and then turn it upside down. But I'm not a good rotary cutter. I mess up every time. I waste more fabric. So I made a template out of the plastic template, just traced and cut. And, then you go to your fabric and you trace each one and cut it out with a scissor.
Wow.
So you take a strip of fabric,
Well,
you mark it with a pencil or something?
Yeah, I just take fabric, and if I want to start out with a straight line, then I mark it. I just use a pencil, usually. And then...
I'm thinking how long that would take.
Yeah, I know. And it actually goes pretty fast. I put on some music.
Well, if
I just trace it. The only thing is if you cut out a lot, my hand gets kind of sore with the scissors.
Yeah.
But,
well, and when you're more comfortable with it, that's what makes you go faster than it would me.
Yes, right.
And I'm not as careful as
and
you.
I probably just need
You're not
maybe a better cutter.
As she is.
That's what I use all the
Now we know
time.
what
Yeah.
you-
Oh,
But
yes.
it's possible you might need a new blade.
I think I do.
Okay.
And so then if you cut it with this, then you can cut strips and you can have more layers and you can cut them fast. So then you go like this and then like
turn it
that.
upside down, right,
And like
all
that.
across the strip.
Yeah.
Okay.
So after you have your pieces, to sew them together, you lay them out, how you're going to have them. And there's a wrong way that most people will think of. So, if you put them together like this, don't put them together where the corners meet, because that's what you think you want to do. Because then, and if you sew it, then you open it up and see they're not even.
Aha.
Yeah.
She's prepared.
She's smart.
Very good.
So, I don't know if you can
want
tell.
the ears.
You overlap 1/4 of an inch.
Yeah.
Okay.
And now I messed up and did one more than 1/4 of an inch, and it didn't work. It has to be like
It has to be a quarter of an inch.
And my seam allowances, I think, are a little over, but then when you open it up,
And you have a straight piece.
I like the color.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
So then you just, every other one.
It's good to
going,
see the
yeah.
mess up, isn't it?
Then you
I'm going to do that one
sew
too.
it together.
Oh, you didn't react.
No, it's at the
Normally you
quarter.
give me a funny reaction.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So then
Number 72,
just
is that
sew
how
them
many you're going to do today?
Now the demo that I saw.
Oh,
so you
look
sew it
at you.
together. And if you want, if you don't like how straight they are, you can trim it.
Uh-huh.
But I didn't.
I feel like I'm watching PBS. She's prepared.
She is.
Prepared. Holy
The
cow.
pressure is on.
So you put them together opposite.
Look at
obviously,
you.
So, then,
What are you gonna do with
so
this?
you put the big sides together and the small ones.